Today's video will be short, such is the simplicity of what I have to say. I'm long-winded by nature, and regular listeners are likely to be comfortable consuming longer-form content. But who doesn't like a bite-sized bulletin? I haven't really had the headspace of late for protracted analysis of any issue, for reasons that I'm not going to go into. So I intend to tackle the current thing in as few words as possible. And, to use the glib maxim so common in the mirror glass hives where I've spent the greater part of my working life, give you 5 minutes back in your day. Put simply, I don't care about Israel and Palestine. Let me quickly qualify that for anyone hovering over the unsubscribe button. Just as I said with regard to the Ukraine war, where has that gone, by the way? Do not let the ongoing state of war in the Middle East distract you from the paramount issue of our time, perhaps the paramount issue in all human history, the COVID vaccine. Naturally, what's going on in the Middle East, not to mention every other theatre of hot conflict in the world that doesn't make the daily headlines, is horrific. My position is simple when it comes to war. War is bad, and it benefits only the global corporate superstructure, specifically the military-industrial complex. I don't have a dog in this fight. I have as many issues with Hamas as I do with the State of Israel, and that's as much as I'm willing to say on the matter. The fact is, innocent people bear the brunt of any war, the common folk, whether in uniform or civilian. This has always been the case, and will remain so until the end of time. But war takes many forms. And as I've often stated, I'm not interested in the headlines pertaining to the latest Raytheon boondoggle, at least not until a majority of people first confront the ongoing soft war being waged against the common people of our planet, the predominant weapons of which are financial, the fractional reserve banking system, informational, big tech, and biological, big food and big pharma. Let's do a little quick math to put things in perspective. I've often pointed to the stellar efforts of Dr. Naomi Wolf and her team at Daily Clout and their analysis of the infamous Pfizer documents as evidence of the gross crime against humanity that was the so-called and its bio-fascist rollout. But no one is doing better work right now at exposing this ignominy than ex-Wall Street whiz-kid Ed Dowd, who has nobly reapplied his talent for analysing trends and statistics to deciphering the excess mortality, disability and injury observable in selected populations since the rollout. Ed's work speaks for itself, and I encourage you both to get his book, Cause Unknown, The Epidemic of Sudden Deaths in 2021 and 2022, and to check out his analysis at financetechnologies.com. That's finance spelt with a PH, linked in the description, where his humanity projects unveil a disturbingly stark reality with regard to using irrefutable data. Ed has raised serious and virtually unassailable questions pertaining to the and the colossal toll they've taken on human life around the world. Please do check it out if you have time. But I said I was going to keep this short, so let's briefly reference his report estimating the human cost, also linked in the description. Through his data analysis, largely of insurance claims, Ed convincingly demonstrates a 0.05% to 0.1% mortality rate for the working age population between 25 and 64 years of age, equating to approximately 300,000 deaths in the US alone. Let us apply this same metric to Israel, where elements of both the mainstream and alternative media are bewailing the deaths of 1,400 Israelis from the initial Hamas attack. Remember, I have no dog in this fight, I'm simply using Israel as an example because there is plenty of reliable data on its population. The population of Israel is about 9.5 million. Of these, about 3,880,000 are aged between 25 and 64. Using Ed's metrics, which are if anything conservative, as Israel was among the most heavily vaccinated countries on the planet, much more so than the US, we can infer that up to 3,880 Israelis were by their own government through the imposition of the to say nothing of injuries and disabilities, which Ed's analysis shows are much higher still. That's almost 4,000 dead by way of government tyranny against its own people, as opposed to 1,400 dead by way of outside aggression. But which story makes the news? The global media complex, which is owned by the same people who profit from both armament sales and COVID vaccines, wants you to know about the hot war body count because it inflames things further and fuels their business model. And by the same token, they do not want you to know about the body count of the soft war they are waging, because while it will likewise inflame things, in this case, it will have the opposite effect on their business model. It will, in fact, if enough people become inflamed, destroy their business model and them along with it. Rabid awareness of hot war garners profit and power for the machine, while docile ignorance of the soft war also garners it profit and power. It's a simple formula. Keep your eyes on the big picture, my friends, and don't get distracted by the Israel-Palestine thing. Thanks for listening. Please subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any future videos. Please also subscribe to my Substack at jjdawson.substack.com. And if you'd like to keep in touch, please do follow me on X at RealJJDawson. You can also follow me on Getter, Gab and Minds. And of course, if you enjoyed this, please do give it a like and share it about, because it really helps me out.